think that you are white with pink hearts and yellow hearts and stripes? Or are you actually hearts with white filling in? That's a good question. Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another of Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. I was just looking at Cosette here, my crafty cat. She is a patchwork of a pattern, isn't she? She's got these hearts on her with some white, and she's got different colored pink legs and arms, and she's kind of a mix of different colors. So would you say that she was white with a pattern over her? Or is she a pattern with white in between? That's a tough question. Does it even really matter? She's beautiful just the way she is, isn't she, with her different colors and patterns? I think so. Well, the reason I ask, and the reason we're talking about this, is because Cosette has picked out a couple of stories for us. One is about a very silly donkey, and it has a lot to do with how he looks. And the other one is about zebras. Are they black or are they white? And does it matter? Would you like to go and read those stories with us now and see what you think? Okay, I think you know what to do, but we'll do it together. Let's rub our hands together, say the magic words. I wish to go on an enchanted journey, and away we go. Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another Enchanted Journeys story time. And I have a special treat for you today. I couldn't pick just one story, and I thought that these two stories that I've picked out kind of go nicely together. I don't know if you've heard of this one, but this is a laugh out loud read, so you should definitely check it out if you haven't. It's called The Wonky Donkey by Craig Smith. And there's even music that goes along with this that you can look up if you enjoy the story. In the second story, What If the Zebras Lost Their Stripes by John Reitano. Which one should we start with? How about we'll start with The Wonky Donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw, and he only had 3 legs. He was a wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw. He only had 3 legs and 1 eye. He was a winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye, and he liked to listen to country music. Yee-haw! He was a honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music, and he was quite tall and slim. He was a lanky, honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim, and he smelt really, really bad. He was a stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelt really, really bad. And that morning, he got up early and hadn't had any coffee. He was a cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelt really, really bad. That morning, he'd got up early and hadn't had any coffee, and he was always getting up to mischief. He was a hanky-panky, cranky, stinky-dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelt really, really bad. That morning, he'd got up early and hadn't had any coffee. He was always getting up to mischief, but he was quite good looking. He was a spunky, hanky-panky, cranky, stinky-dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! The end. What did you think of the Wonky Donkey? Did you think it was pretty silly? I sure did. And now I think it is time for us to read What If the Zebras Lost Their Stripes? What if the zebras lost their stripes, and some lost black, and some lost white? Would they think that it's all right? Or would the zebras start to fight? Would there be separate zebra types if the zebras lost their stripes? Would different colors be the end of living life as loving friends? Would zebras see themselves as zebras, or would their colors make them start to only see the black or white and not what lives within their hearts? Would there be separate zebra lands? Could black and white friends still hold hands? Would zebra children be okay to join together, laugh and play? I know why God gave zebra stripes, so that there'd be no black or white. But zebras would be much too smart to let their colors tear them apart. The end. And what did you think what if the zebras lost their stripes? You know, I enjoyed both of these stories about the donkey and the zebras. Did you know that donkeys are actually a lot closer related to zebras than they are to horses? That fact surprised me when I was reading about my animal choices for today, and I picked out a fun animal activity for us to do together. I thought we could make our own paper plate zebra and use string to do a little weaving craft with a paper plate and the zebra. If you'd prefer to make a donkey, you could do that too. You don't need a whole lot of materials. I'll put them up on the screen for you. But what do you say? Are you ready to go and try that with me? Okay, let's go. All right, the first step we're going to do is we're going to take our paper plate and using a pencil, we're going to draw the rough shape of a zebra head. Now, you can find templates for something like this online if you prefer. I like to just freehand and make it my own, so I'm just going to use a pencil and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. We're going to try and keep half of the plate pretty much untouched, but the rest we're going to just draw the outline of a zebra's head. My pencil lines are a little faint, so it's hard to see. But basically, I started at the top and I came down. This is going to be his nose, and then I come around and back down. And we're going to keep all of this. So you're going to see I'm going to cut along this border, and this is going to become my zebra's face. So after you've drawn your zebra, you're going to go ahead and use a pair of scissors and cut them out. And then after you've cut out your shape, you can kind of see, does this look like a zebra head to me? And this look like a nose? You can make some adjustments with your scissors if you're not quite pleased with how that came out. Hopefully that's starting to look like the outline of a zebra's face to you. I've got his head up here. We're going to put his eye somewhere in here. This is his nose area, and this is the back of his head. Once you've cut out your zebra's face, the next thing we're going to do is mark areas with a pencil where we might want to be adding our zebra stripes. So I'm going to just use a pencil. Once you've kind of gone along the top and around the side, you're going to want to put some on the bottom, because what we're going to do, we're going to put hole punches and we're going to string our zebra stripes up and down. You'll see how that works soon. I'm putting bigger marks down here because I'm going to put a lot of string from these pieces into just these two bottom holes, and you'll see that. So I have got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 up top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the bottom. So if you have something like that, that would work great. The next step, once you're happy with your hole placement in your zebra's face, you're just going to use your hole punch and cut out those holes. Now when you get to this edge of the plate, I don't know about you, but my hole punch doesn't reach that far, so I might have to use a pair of scissors and just poke those holes. Or you can bend the plate like I did, so I'm going to show you that too. Bend your plate and find your dot and line up your hole punch and just punch right along that dot. The plate's a little bit thicker there, but it should work. Once you've finished punching out all the holes for your zebra, the next step is to go ahead and paint it. If you don't have paint, again, you can use colored pencils, crayons, markers, anything of your choosing. And I'm going to paint right over the holes. Now I went ahead and painted my whole zebra head. You may want to leave this section here white so that you can add a nose detail and a mouth detail. If you went ahead and painted it like I did, I'm going to add in some of that detail later. I'm going to make it a little bit more unique and special in my own by using a piece of felt for that, but you can also just leave this white if you prefer. Once you've finished painting, you're just going to let this dry before moving on to the next step. While you're waiting for your zebra's face to dry, you can be working on the next pieces, which is going to be his hairy mane, which is what the black construction paper is for. What we're going to be doing is making like a black mane that wraps around the bottom of the zebra's head underneath where his ear is going to go, and that's going to be for his mane. So I'm just going to draw kind of a curly Q shape, like my plate's outer edge shape, that I'm going to end up gluing onto the back of my zebra. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of crinkly details here. You can either use scissors and trim along the edge, or you could fold your paper. That's what I'm going to do. So you'll have something like this, like an accordion fold, pleated look. That's going to go behind my zebra. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to set that aside. I know that I'm going to be making a white face out of felt, so I have this piece of felt here. So I am going to just kind of eyeball it for now and cut out a little bit of felt. I need some ears for my zebra. So I'm going to continue with my felt, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a pair of ears. And I'm just going to eyeball this. Instead of using a template or drawing it, you can use a template. You can draw ahead of time. You can go online and look at pictures of zebras to help you, however you choose to make your craft. You can see I'm just lining them up, just cutting them roughly. They don't have to be exactly perfect. They're going to look pretty close to being the same, so I'm happy with that. The other thing you can do is add some details into what will be your ears. So for mine, I'm going to just give him a little bit of black striping inside his ears, and I'm going to use just the same construction paper, and I'm going to use some glue. Best part of crafts projects is taking ideas from other people or from nature, wherever you get inspired, and creating your own version, changing it a little bit and making it something unique. When you're happy with your ear details, you can cut them out and glue them down. Once your zebra plate is pretty dry, you can start adding some of those other elements. Here I've cut out my felt for his nose piece. I've got a little piece of that black construction paper to make the nose, nostril there. And I got a little black down here to make kind of a smile. So I want my zebra to look happy. It's got a little bit of a smirk. And then my plate is dry, so I can go ahead and glue that on there where I like it. Okay, so now it's starting to look a little bit like a zebra. The next step, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue on his mane that we talked about. I'm going to attach his ears that I made. So I've got 2 ears. I'm just going to put those right above the top. And I'm going to use this Elmer's glue again. All right, once you have your zebra's mane attached, his ears, and his nose area, the next thing you're going to want to do is give him an eye. Now, if you have a googly eye, that will work really great. Mine's a little bit small for the size of this plate. A large one would be better. But since I don't have a large one, I'm going to work with what I have. I'm just going to add a white button behind mine. That'll make it look a little bit bigger anyway. If you have a big Google eye, you go right for that. Otherwise, you can do like Jenny the Genie, and you can use a button and fill it in with a smaller googly eye. And then for placement, you just place it wherever you think it looks best. Once you've got all those elements in place, so you're gonna just cut, I don't know, maybe a yard worth of yarn. I'm gonna cut a little bit longer than I think I need. trick for me to do that is I just take it and I stretch it across my arms a couple of times. If I can get 2 or 3 times, I think I've got plenty. And you're just going to pick a spot to begin. I'm going to start right at the top of my zebra's nose. I'm going to go underneath one side here, like so. At the bottom of his mouth area, I'm going to come up from the bottom. I'm going to pull through and then bring it through this top piece. And I'm just going to pull a length just enough to secure it in the back with some tape. And this is where the duct tape is a good idea if you have it. Otherwise, you can use just regular clear Scotch tape. That's fine too. You can use glue. If you're using a hot glue gun for this project, that would probably hold it fine as well. Tape is my recommendation, it's easiest, and we know it's nice and sticky and it's gonna hold well together. So I'm just gonna stick that down like that. And now I'm going to take the other end. I have a long piece here. Maybe yours isn't quite that long, that's fine. And I'm just going to begin lacing through. So this one went under. So I'm going to come and go under the next one, pull through. I'm going to take my yarn, my string, and go across and pull through. So I just came over and through on this top piece. Now I'm going to come under and through on this. Now my yarn is on top of my plate, so I've got to go over and through here. And you're just going to keep following this pattern and lacing your zebra's face until you have him completely covered in stripes. You take your time with this. You make the stripes however you like and just have fun. Remember those big holes I had you punch at the bottom? That's so that you can lace multiple parts of the main area into one hole, like I'm doing here. All right, when you've finished threading or lacing your stripes through your zebra, it should look something like a zebra. And if you have extra, cut a lot of yarn like I did, you're just gonna cut the back and just tape it right down on the inside. Now you have your very own zebra. I hope you enjoyed making this with me, and I hope you learned a lot about zebras from our story and from this project. And I hope you'll continue to use your imagination and creativity to make fun crafts of your own. But we're out of time for today. You ready to head back to the magic lamp and say goodbye to Cosette? Okay, let's go.
And welcome back to the Magic Lamp, boys and girls. Did you have a great time with us today? I sure hope so. I really like that Wonky Donkey that does the honky tonky and all kinds of silly things, doesn't he? And what did you think about zebras? I think it was an interesting question. What if they were just black? Or what if they were just white? Would they mix together? What would people think about them? It's kind of fun to think about sometimes and question how we look at things, isn't it? Did you enjoy doing that craft with us today and making your own zebra? I hope so. Or maybe you made a donkey. That's a lot of fun too. And if you are looking for some more fun, you can learn all about zebras and donkeys. And you can go on and listen to the Wonky Donkey song if you liked him, because he's a lot of fun and really silly. But we're out of time for today, so we're going to say goodbye to you for now. And I hope that you'll come back and see Cosette and me in our lamp again very soon. Until you do, take really good care of yourselves, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.